I recently read Range by David Epstein. What do two-time NBA MVP Steve Nash, six-time Super Bowl champion Tom Brady, and 20-time Grand Slam champion Roger Federer have in common? Well, other than being among the greatest people to ever play their sport, none of them had a head start. Nash grew up playing soccer and didn't start playing basketball until he was 13. Tom Brady spent much of his childhood playing baseball, and he was actually drafted into professional baseball before football. And Roger Federer sampled a wide array of sports until deciding to focus on tennis in his early teens. These three great athletes were late specializers, but conventional wisdom tells us that if you want to be the best, you need to specialize early and get a head start on the competition. But conventional wisdom is dead wrong. Despite the stories you hear about Mozart learning to play piano before the age of 4, or Tiger Woods hitting a golf ball at age 2, most kids who start specializing too early fizzle out and rarely achieve greatness. Greatness in sports and in music is most often preceded by a period of sampling, trying out many sports and many different instruments, before specializing in one sport or one instrument. And it turns out that late specialization also happens to be the norm among people who have lucrative, fulfilling, and impactful careers. Todd Rose, director of Harvard's Mind, Brain, and Education program, and neuroscientist Ogi Ogas, set out to study people who were successful and fulfilled at work. They interviewed a wide range of people, from master sommeliers, animal trainers, and midwives, to architects and engineers. When they concluded their study, they decided to call it the Dark Horse Study. Why Dark Horse? Well, because nearly every successful and fulfilled professional thought they were the odd ones, the outsiders, the long shots, because they didn't know what they wanted to do early on, and they didn't take a straight path to their ultimate profession. They told researchers, most people don't do it this way. But they were wrong. The majority of people with successful and fulfilling careers seemed lost at the beginning of their careers. Instead of specializing, they sampled many different roles in many different fields and worked with a variety of different people. They didn't have 5 or 10-year career goals. They had 90-day goals at best. The Dark Horse Study researchers summed up the moment-by-moment mindset of the most successful people in the study as this: here's who I am at this moment. Here are my motivations. Here's what I found I like to do. Here's what I like to learn. And here are the opportunities. Which opportunity is the best match right now? Most of us think we know ourselves well. We know what we're good at. We know what we're interested in. So we think we know what we'll be good at 5, 10, 20 years from now. But the science says otherwise. In the book, Epstein says, it's clear from the science that our work preferences and our life preferences do not stay the same because we do not stay the same. Just think back to the career you were sure you wanted 10 years ago. Does it align with where you are now? Does it seem a little bit ridiculous today? Just think of all the people who realized halfway through medical school that it wasn't a good fit. Epstein says, the most momentous personality changes occur between age 18 and one's late 20s. So specializing early is a task of predicting match quality for a person who does not yet exist. It could work, but it makes for worse odds. Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, says, I feel sorry for the people who know exactly what they're going to do from the time they're sophomores in high school. The only way to truly find a good career fit is to have a wide range of experiences, sampling different jobs, and experimenting with different ideas. Finding the right fit requires doing, not reflecting. Eventually, with enough sampling and experimentation, the people in the Dark Horse Study found the right fit, and by the time they found a good career fit, they had a major tactical advantage because they had a wide range of experiences that allowed them to be great analogical thinkers. Epstein says, analogical thinking allows humans to reason through problems they have never seen in unfamiliar contexts. Analogical thinking also allows us to understand that which we cannot see at all. Students might learn about the motion of molecules by analogy to billiard ball collisions, and principles of electricity can be understood with analogies to water flow through plumbing. Regardless of what profession you end up in, generating ideas and problem solving is becoming more and more important. And when it comes to generating ideas and solving problems, having more analogies at your disposal is a superpower. In 1989, the Exxon Valdez oil tanker famously hit a reef and leaked a massive amount of oil into the Prince William Sound. When the oil mixed with water, it turned into a substance that the spill workers would later refer to as chocolate mousse. It was thick and had the viscosity of peanut butter, which made it really hard to remove. 20 years after the Exxon Valdez spill, there were still 32,000 gallons of oil stuck along Alaska's coast. So in 2007, Scott Pagel, a research program manager at the Alaska Oil Spill Recovery Institute, created an online contest where anyone could propose solutions to extract the cold, mousse-like oil substance. The winner would get $20,000. After months of suggestions, the best solution came from someone outside the energy industry, a chemist from Illinois named John Davis. But it wasn't Davis's chemistry background that led to a solution. It was his brief experience in construction pouring concrete that led to a breakthrough solution. On a hot summer day, when Davis was pouring concrete at a friend's house, he noticed the concrete was hardening too quickly in the intense heat. When he asked his brother what he should do about it, his brother grabbed a metal rod attached to a motor and touched it to the mound of concrete. Somewhat miraculously, the concrete instantly fluidized. As Davis thought back to that moment, he realized that the same thing could be done to the chocolate mousse on the Alaska coast. So Davis drew up a diagram of a motor and a metal rod attached to the back of a flat-bottomed boat and sent it to Pagel. Months later, Davis received a check for $20,000. It turned out that Davis's idea, which he had gathered from a random experience, allowed the cold chocolate mousse to turn into a less viscous liquid that could be easily extracted. The more time we take early on in our career to have a wide range of experiences and interact with a wide range of people, the more analogies will accumulate, like the metal rod and concrete, which will allow us to solve more and more nuanced problems and be more effective in any career we eventually commit to. So what's the big takeaway? Don't be quick to marry your first career option. Instead, date many different roles and different career opportunities. Start off on a 6-lane highway, not a one-way street. Hop between the lanes by taking different roles that seem interesting. As you pursue a range of experiences and develop new skills, or take your skills and apply them to new problems, remember this: it's going to feel inefficient and messy, but that's a great sign that you're learning. Because the most effective form of learning is never smooth or easy. And when you have doubts and you feel like you're falling behind your peers, don't worry. Epstein says, one study shows that early career specializers jump out to an earnings lead after college, but that later specializers made up for the head start by finding work that better fit their skills and personalities. People with a head start are more likely to burn out. It's like the person at the start of a marathon who sprints, but then you find them sitting on the sidelines at mile 10 as you gradually run past them. And if you're ever worried about starting a business too late, fear not. Researchers at Northwestern, MIT, and the US Census Bureau studied new tech companies and showed that among the fastest growing startups, the average age of a founder was 45 when the company was launched. So take your time and accumulate a range of experiences and skills. But when you feel like you've sampled enough and you know yourself well enough, go deep on an interest and get really good. Roger Federer may have changed sports when he was young, but eventually he decided to master the game of tennis. Tom Brady didn't change sports after determining football was a sport for him. He decided to be the best quarterback he could. Breadth before depth helped Federer and Brady rise to the top. It helped the majority of people in the Dark Horse study find fulfilling careers. And it'll help you and I do the same. That was the core message that I gathered from Range by David Epstein. This is an extremely well-researched book with dozens of counterintuitive insights about what it really takes to excel. I highly recommend it. If you would like a one-page PDF summary of insights that I gathered from this book, just click the link below and I'd be happy to email it to you. If you already subscribe to the free Productivity Game email newsletter, this PDF is sitting in your inbox. If you like this video, please share it. And as always, thanks for watching and have yourself a productive week.